Hi, it's Kathy Hill again, and I'm continuing to talk about how to create more volume in your children's voices. Again, we're not going to use the word loud because loud implies yelling, and they're encouraged enough to do that in other situations. So we're going to talk about volume or fullness, and in particularly, in addition to opening our mouths, which we've talked about before, okay? We want to help them understand the physiology of where their sound comes from, okay? So the first thing that I want to do is I want you to help them understand that their lungs are what creates the breath support that causes the sound to come out. In other words, if I take a very shallow breath, that's about all I'm going to sound like, okay? But if I take a very deep breath, and you notice when I did, my diaphragm went out, my stomach went out. I really have a very small stomach, but because I caused it to go out, it looks much larger than it really is, okay? But when I push my stomach out, it automatically causes more room in my diaphragm, or the area where that muscle is. It's going to push that breath up out of my lungs. And here I'm talking without taking a breath because I took so much breath beforehand, okay? Now, to help kids understand that, a balloon is a wonderful way to visualize the lungs. I've actually put a little bit of one of these, I don't know what it's called. It's like a little straw thing that you can get at Party City, but it's really helpful for younger kids who may have trouble blowing up a balloon by themselves. Demonstrate this first and then let them do it, okay? Otherwise, you'll have balloons flying all over the room. But our objective is we want to take as deep a breath as possible. Don't raise the shoulders. Just feel your stomach going out. Now, you can even have a contest of seeing who blows the balloon up the biggest. Now, I'm going to take this off of here because if I leave it on, it's going to make kind of a funny sound. But they understand that when we let air out of a balloon very quickly without any kind of control, it makes a very nasty sound, okay? But, and this time I'm going to blow the balloon up without the tube. I didn't take a very good breath. Let's try that again. See the difference? Now, if I control the amount of air that comes out of this balloon, it's actually going to make a sound. Not a really pleasant sound, but still, I can stop the breath also, just in the same way that I could breathe in. I'm not doing anything in my throat. I'm just stopping the breath from coming out of my lungs, all right? So I can make a high sound, I can make a low sound, you know, and I can take as long as I want to let that breath out, okay? Now, the objective then is for the children to make the connection between that the lungs inside of them are like this balloon. And so you want to get them to breathe in, always pushing that stomach out, okay? And always pushing that stomach out, because if they don't push their stomach out, they're not creating enough room in there for their lungs to expand. Again, shoulders don't raise. A great way to do this is to get them to lie on the floor, okay? Have a child like catty-cornered like this, with the child's head on the other child's stomach. Preferably, let's try the word I'm going to say, preferably a girl's head on a girl's stomach and a boy's head on a boy's stomach. And at that point then, have them pant like a dog. And when they do, the head will pop up and down. In other words, it'll go up and down if the child underneath them is breathing correctly. There's no way they can raise their shoulders in that way, but they can feel that muscle, they can feel the breath going into their lungs, and hopefully that will translate then into a very full, beautiful, controlled sound.